Heidi ho neighbors, Radio Goji here, and welcome to Squeeze the World Toys. And today, I'm finally going to continue my look at select figures from the Transformers Generations Titans Return line. Today in particular, we're going to start taking a look at Legends class figures. Legends class figures are basically the next step up in this line from these little Titan Masters that we saw before. They're actually fairly standard-sized transformable figures. They are the smallest of the bunch, and they don't really have too much of an integration with the main gimmick of the series. But their alt modes do incorporate, or at least can accommodate, rather, the Titan Masters in some way, shape, or form. And as you can see here, today we're going to be talking about Legends Class Seaspray. Seaspray is an Autobot that changes into a this lovely water hovercraft here. As far as his character is concerned, he was one of the Autobots that first showed up in Season 2 alongside characters such as Power Glide, Perceptor, Beachcomber, and such. And his main character trait, from what I remember, was that he talked like he was underwater all the time, even though he barely ever was. Even when he, on one occasion, magically turned into a merman who resembled nothing of his robot form, he still sounded that way, and it was very annoying. Needless to say, the reason I picked this figure up was not necessarily because of the character himself, but rather I like the design of Seaspray and his alt mode. It's a very nice looking hovercraft here. There aren't any wheels on the bottom. Instead, it just kind of glides around on flat surfaces kind of nicely there. You also got propellers to spin, because you pretty much should if you put propellers on your toys. And that's pretty much your lot when it comes to the alt mode itself. Now, as I said before, Titan Masters can usually interact with these alt modes in some way, shape, or form. And for many of the vehicle modes, that means that there's usually a cockpit or driver's seat where you can put a Titan Master in. So let's take Grimlock back out here. Because he's going to be able to fall over on his face, and then he'll get a chance to ride around in the hovercraft. So, despite the fact that there are windows on the front here, this isn't where Grimlock is going to go. There's actually this whole yellow section on the back here will separate and hinge up like this, and there's a little cavity inside. So you can basically put your Titan Master in their sitting position if their legs will stay in place, and just kind of like I said, if their legs will stay in place, just kind of put them inside like so, and he can sit inside, and you can close up the section there, and while he's not exactly visible, he is still riding around. You can actually see him in the bottom there. He's still riding around in the hovercraft. Let's take him back out and put him off to the side. Now, for actual transformation of Seaspray into his robot mode, we're going to start by taking off this little missile launcher thing on the top, and that's going to be a handheld weapon, so that's going to be put off to the side here. We're going to disconnect the side skirts. They basically disconnect from, well, these parts disconnect from the center here. And then just fold this whole front section up like this. And then this is actually the legs that are folded up in a pretty specific way. In fact, I'm actually, times like these, I'm actually kind of glad that I start with the alt mode and turn them into their robot mode, because it takes quite a bit more time to fold the legs up specifically to where they need to go, rather than just to unfold them. So basically it will look like this. The legs can, the feet can separate out like this, and then the side skirts can just collapse in. You can leave them out to basically make more of a sort of heels that he can stand with, but I found that's more or less unnecessary. You can actually keep these collapsed in. He's still very stable. He just has very large feet, so he can keep himself up pretty, keep himself propped up pretty well. The back skirts will actually disconnect and make the arms, just kind of peg them off of there and spin them around. They'll swing down to make the arms. I know my hands are getting in the way just because of how I was sitting. Sorry about that. And then this whole back section is going to come down and collapse into the chest area. Clip in place, or snap in place is what I mean to say. And then this panel here is going to fold down to dramatically reveal the face. And here we have Seaspray in his robot mode. And he stands, like I said, stands up pretty well. I already showed that off, though. I actually, again, like the design of the robot mode here. And like I said before, his little missile launcher he can hold in his hand, sort of. He doesn't hold it in his fist. Rather, there's like this tab right there. And this actually goes into a slot on his arm, so he holds it that way. He can, though, hold Titan Masters in their, at least he... in theory, can hold Titan Masters in their Target Master modes. I've kind of had problems with Seaspray holding them, but he can hold his own handheld weapon, so I really don't think it's not a deal breaker for me. As far as articulation goes, it's pretty darn good. It's mostly what you would expect from most Transformers figures. Not quite like his waist doesn't twist at all, but he does have ball joints in his elbow and his shoulder, so you can do a lot of nice arm poses if you want to. There's ball joints in the hips, and you have swivels in the upper legs and hinges at the knees. So you can put him in a decent number of poses if you'd like. His head also turns, but it's kind of hard to do so because you really have to get in there, and because of how this like propeller assembly is around his head, it's kind of hard to get my fingers in there to turn. But he can technically turn 360 degrees. It's just a question of clearance. Will you be able to make him do so? But yeah, a nice little figure. So I not one of my favorites, but I do recommend picking him up if you're a fan of Seaspray or Seaspray's design. Like I said, I like the design more than I do the character. It's a nice little thing. Usually with Legends class figures, especially with discontinued toy lines like Titan's Return, I've been able to find like a grand majority of my figures on Amazon. Amazon always seems to have like everything in stock in some way, shape, or form. Not necessarily through them, a lot of times through third-party sellers, but that's fine. And prices do fluctuate quite a bit, but most Legends class figures like this, I've been able to find them for between $10 and $20 at the most. I mean, there are some exceptions here and there, but for the most part, you should be able to get these guys for a decent price. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with some more Legends class figure-based videos after this. But until next time, I've been Radio Goji, and I'll be here. Join me, won't you?